Easy come, easy go.
All right, let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you for joining me today for Decoding the Crypto Market in 2024. I'm your host, Jimmy Ling. For those of you who are familiar with Cipholio, we are the Web3 founder funds and venture capital firm. Today, we're excited to invite our portfolio company, PSE Trading, to provide an introduction to the current trends in the crypto market, which apparently have deviated from most people's expectations. We're pleased to host Christine Fan, partner at PSE Trading. Mrs. Fan will share her expertise on the current market insights in 2024 and discuss strategies for capturing opportunities in this dynamic market. And thank you for joining us, and let's get it started. So Christine, you can share your screen now.
Sure, let me share screen. Can everyone see?
Yes.
Great. So before we start, let's talk about so today we'll be talking about the outlook for 2024. Obviously, a lot has happened since the October of last year, beginning with the fake ETF news that has spurred the rally till this point. Quick intro. So we are PSE Trading, a crypto hedge fund. We were founded by Paul Wang, our CIO, and in 2021, we managed to return 2,500% to our LPs. Pretty impressive, I would say 25x. And we even managed to return 500%, which is 5x during the 2022.
So we see like a small presenter coach like on the right below corner. So do you mind like close it? Seems like if you can maybe moving it to yes, much better. Yeah, much
Got
better.
it. I have no idea why that popped up. Anyways, yeah, so we have office locations in Hong Kong and Shanghai. We have basically two funds. One is the Alpha Fund. Alpha Fund is like a traditional long-short hedge fund where we chase alpha and beta in the market. We hold BTC and we also trade other altcoins. And our arbitrage fund is pretty risk-free. And we also have that running. We are around 50 million AUM. So leadership team consists of Paul, myself, and Eric. We have backgrounds combined at Citibank, Cipholio, finance, and so Paul and Eric are crypto natives in the industry, and we're very well-versed and very experienced in going through different market cycles and how to navigate things that are going on. So overall, I want to quickly just talk about we're raising 150 million USD for our alpha funds. Year to date, we've been performing very well. Talked about our past performance, which was very impressive starting from our first fund. To date, third fund, we're also performing pretty well, outperforming BTC. We've managed to capture the entire upcycle since late last year to this point, and we expect to continue our outperformance. So you can follow us closely for our opinion on the market. Yeah, so our arbitrage fund is pretty straightforward. Arbitrage fund is very risk-free. Annualized return about 7.3 to 11.4%. So arbitrage obviously is taking advantage of the pricing differences across different exchanges and also arbitrage within the same exchanges. We talked about fundraising. We accept anything in the form of USDT, USDC, BTC, ETH, also accept fiats. Just looking at past performances, even as traditional investors, they would also by increasing their allocations to Bitcoin, they've managed to outperform the index by quite a bit. So I think as an alternative asset, even having some Bitcoin would be very useful to portfolio performance. So theme one, I'll quickly go over how we started. Started with the Cointelegraph rumor back in October, and now we're at the Ether rally where nobody expected the ETF approval, but here we are. We saw the entire rally from 3,000 to 3,800. So yeah, goodbye crypto winter, hello bull market. We saw market cap drastically, over 60% due to several collapses in 2022. Now that seems like an eon ago, but actually it's not quite that long ago. We saw the Luna crash, Celsius file for bankruptcy, and then as well as FTS crash that disrupted a lot of the stuff that's going on in the industry. And slowly last year we saw some recovery and optimism, and to this point we saw continued recovery and ETF approvals and a lot of institutional interest. So I think it's a very interesting point in the market. So yeah, fairness approval, ETF approval reports, we can see that I started the yellow line there, back there, where the market cap was very low, and then to now the grayscale SEC court order, we have come pretty long way. Yeah, and looking at crypto as an asset class, we've outperformed obviously Nasdaq. Nasdaq has done very well year to date, and we've even managed to beat that. So that really speaks to how well crypto has performed lately. So regarding Ether ETF, I guess a lot of people have questions whether it would be buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event that happened with BTC we saw earlier, where it rallied to 48K, then dropped back to 38K upon the news of approval. I don't think that this will happen for Ether. It's quite simple because not a lot of people captured the Ether upside. And nobody is very well positioned for the rally that we saw that went from 2,800 to over 3,900. And because retail was not well positioned enough, nobody expected the approval news. So institutional investors do not have that much Ether to dump on the public, if you simply put it that way. So I don't think it's sell the news kind of event that a lot of people may be expecting from what they saw with BTC. So yeah, Ether rally, I think, will be driving what's next for the second half of 2024. And I think both cryptocurrencies remain pretty highly correlated. And I think that given the macro upcycle, we will continue to see the asset class rally. And yeah, theme two is macro matters, the US rate cut narrative and the impact on BTC and risk assets. So pretty much we've seen a rising correlation between BTC and the S&P. And structural wise, US policy decisions on digital assets has also been improving, given that the SEC approval of the BTC ETF to begin with, Gary Gensler, you can see that he can't do much now because you have to go through voting, and it's quite clear that a lot of people are supporting crypto. And also on the backdrop of economic data, that US economic data that has been pretty resilient and surprising to the positive side on all fronts. So this has also been helpful for risk assets. So lots are expecting rate cuts by September. That's our base case. So a lot of people are a little bit worried about economic slowdown and contraction, but I think overall the US economy is doing pretty well. And Fed will cut rates very quickly if they see any signs of labor market weakening, because that would point to recession, and they definitely do not want to see that happening. So I think September rate cut is still a base case. And even if they do not cut as much this year by 2024, they're going to cut very drastically in 2025, because I think the rates has been kept high up for a very long time, and a lot of consumers, particularly the middle class, are suffering a lot. So yep, earlier we saw weak GDP, which was supportive of sooner rate cuts. And the SPX is also very strong. Mag 7 has been performing very well. Growth drivers and NVIDIA, of course, holding up the SPX. And then you can see that the semi index is also holding up the SPX. And overall, I don't think there are mega cap concerns, given that the demand is there and it's a very structural story. And the use of AI will always be there. So I don't think there's any concerns of bubbles that people were referring to, comparing to the dot-com bubble. I don't think it's a fair comparison, because for AI and NVIDIA, it's a very different story. Yes, policy and implications is our third theme, and I think this is also very supportive for the industry because we're entering election year, and you can see that Trump has openly voiced his support for crypto because this makes a lot of sense because a lot of Gen Z voters will be choosing their preferred candidates. And why do you want to turn away these young voters when you could very much attract these new voters? And Trump even said that he would accept crypto payments for his rally and campaign. So you can see a lot of bipartisan support. And if Trump starts doing that, there's no reason for Biden not to do it as well. I think for presidential candidates, it would make a lot of sense for them to attract as many voters as possible, try not to turn away the voters. So this will be structural support for crypto. You can also see the FIT Act that has also been passed in favor of crypto and shifts in Biden's administrative stance and new willingness to work with policy and allies like Mark Cuban. Theme 4, the altcoin narrative. So obviously what to watch, Ether Petra upgrade. So the account abstraction is a key part of the Petra upgrade, allowing users, regular user accounts to perform actions like batch transactions, sponsored transaction, third-party fee payments, and good bets would be like Trust Wallet, Safe, and then it's good staking bets would be Lido, EtherFi, and EigenLayer. A lot of people will be holding Ether. I think this is the main narrative for the second half of this year. So I think staking bets will be very interesting for people to hold as well. So we're trying to plan our game and how to play the ecosystem for the next half of the year. And I think we're pretty well positioned because our team has done a lot of research into the ecosystem. Another thing to watch is the modular blockchain. Ether faces a scaling dilemma. I think everyone is aware. The initial proposal was sharding tech, which divides blockchain state and computation into multiple shards. However, this approach has not been implemented as quickly as anticipated. And then now we are moving to look at modular blockchain architecture, and some good bets would be some Celestia and Outlayer. I think we did very well with Celestia. We positioned ourselves into TIA when it's only a couple of cents, and I think everyone saw how TIA rallied from a couple of cents to $20. So we did like more than 20x on this bet. So you can be very confident that we're very good at picking up alt narratives, and this has been the case for every single cycle that we've been through. Another thing to watch is AI and crypto. So how we saw the big AI rally and NVIDIA's outperformance like up 177% over the year. And somehow this AI rally is not replicated in crypto. I think that the AI narrative will eventually come in crypto. Crypto always lags TradFi, so I think it's in our best interest to position ourselves into some AI bets. So we're interested in, for example, Fetch, WorldCoin, Render are also some of the names that we've managed to chase and gain in the past. And we don't think that NVIDIA is very overvalued at this point. Cap ratios of leading tech companies remain relatively low, even lower than the levels observed during the early stages of the internet bubbles, if you really have to make a comparison to 1998. Let's watch in second half of the year. We also looking at Solana. So a lot has happened for Solana, given FTX's close tie to Solana, the asset dropped massively. But this year has been a bounce back for Solana, acquired by a lot of esteemed entities like Pantera, Neptune Digital, Galaxy. So we also think that given all these institutions are buying back Solana and their investing schedules, these market makers will probably try their best to prop up Solana's prices at least until they are able to sell. So we remain pretty confident in Solana because mainly the headwind has been over and investor interests have been picking up, and also there has been a massive meme coin rally. So retail interest has been very high on Solana. So we remain pretty positive on this one. And Move is also an interesting one. It's a new programming language for securing smart contracts. Move is designed to build and secure verifiable smart contracts developed by Meta in 2019 to power the DM chain. And good bets in the Move space would be Aptos and Sui. Another thing to watch is, of course, RWA. We see massive growth potential. BCG Group predicted that the market for tokenized digital assets and RWA will reach a staggering 16 trillion by 2030. This is a small fraction compared to the global asset value estimated around 900 trillion as shown in the left chart. And also entities like BlackRock, they've also launched BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund on Ether. So their first RWA product holding. So you can see that a lot of institutions are betting on real world assets and it's a very point of interest for them. And a good bet in this space would also be Ondo. The open network is something that is also gaining tractions. And good bets here would be Ton and not Coin, despite Telegram officially abandoning Ton due to the SEC lawsuit with the recent regulations softening. Telegram has repeatedly endorsed the project and emphasized business connections. And with the Telegram having around 800 million users currently, we think that Ton will track a lot more traction by 2028. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening, and you can contact us below. So please feel free to ask me any questions.
Yeah, so if you are interested, so you can use the Q&A box like below and tap into any question if you have. Then we will select a few of them from the audience questions. Thank you.
No questions? If not, thank you so much for attending, and please feel free to contact me, shoot me a message if you're interested in learning more about PSE, or you can shoot me a DM on Twitter. Thanks. Have a good evening. Or good night, good day, wherever you are.
Thank you for
Bye.
joining.